The Hangout is on air and is live. So if someone would just maybe go over to our our Facebook group and make sure that everyone can see the Hangout. This is Jeff White. Wanted to say hello to everyone. Welcome everyone to our Top Team branded Google Hangout that we have each Monday night, where we bring out some superstars, rock stars, ladies, men, gentlemen, all types of people from all types of different backgrounds who are doing great with their INFINii business. If you're a person that's been invited to this, you're going to enjoy it because we have a special treat for you tonight. We have our CEO of INFINii with us, Mr. Hitesh Juneja, and he's going to detail a few things that will be very exciting as to the direction the company is going in, some of the statistics on what we've done over the last 2 months and things like that. Just to give you a little background on myself, as I mentioned, my name is Jeff White. I'm from Mississippi, a little small town called Durant, Mississippi. I don't live there anymore, but the median income in that town was about, what, $20,000 a year for an average family. And I worked real hard, left there, married a beautiful lady, and started working for some great companies and things like that, but I had a lot of time that I was missing with my family. So decided to try to work from home, do some things, learn a few things and all of that good stuff. Found a few businesses that failed, and lo and behold, I met this gentleman named Hitesh Juneja in another company actually, and started doing some eBay drop shipping because we were in a terrible situation, my wife and I, as far as our home and things like that. We were going into foreclosure, and it wasn't because of anything that we necessarily did or didn't do. It was because of companies failing, companies not being able to, I guess you could say, make good on their promises to help people work from home and earn full-time income, companies that ran off with money, all types of things happen. So fast forward to 2013, got started with this company, started doing the drop shipping, eBay, Amazon type business, and lo and behold, we were actually able to start making a little money and started making some sales, started talking to a few people about it. Now, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, we're on our way to our first possible seven-figure income year, and have a huge team of people behind me, have a great company with people like Hitesh, our CEO, powering this thing called INFINii that's going to actually take the internet. It really has already taken the internet by storm, but we're planning to take the world by storm with this thing this year, and we want you to be a part of it. Now, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about some income that they've made, and if you look at the bottom of that page on our Google Hangout site, if you're over there, you're going to see a place at the very bottom that talks about, it's an income disclaimer, sort of talks about what what we're going to be talking about when we talk about income, because the vast majority of what we're going to talk about tonight will be income that's based on a product being sold. It's not going to be income based on recruiting someone. It's going to be income where a person can never talk to one single person and generate income from our e-commerce side. So that's one of the things that's so special about this company. We appreciate everyone for being on here. But right now, what I want to do is something that very few people get the privilege of saying, that they are able to have the CEO of their company come out and take out from his huge, I mean, just amazing schedule. Just he may go into some of it, but generally he's so humble he won't talk about it. But we have on the line Mr. Hitesh Juneja, and he's going to talk to you guys and help you to see exactly how powerful of a system you have your hands on. Hitesh, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Jeff.
All right, thank you, man. Take it away.
Absolutely. And first of all, thank you very much for the introduction and for having me on here. But also, it is really an honor to be working with somebody like Jeff. Okay, as you guys heard, this is not a call to try and pitch something and try and convert people and try to recruit people. It's nothing like that. It's really just sharing what's actually working and what's not working out there. And Jeff is a wonderful example who really shows the difference between, you can have the same skill set, you can have the same mentality, the same attitude, and same work ethic. And in one situation, you could be failing, and in another situation, you're succeeding. Because it's very important for us to recognize that systems do have a consequence. What kind of system you live under, what kind of, even the country you live in, that makes a pretty big difference sometimes. So if it's okay with everybody, what I'm going to try and do is actually share a couple of things very quickly. So I'll start out with some very, very quick results. And this is actually something that I posted today. So I was looking for the statistics for January. One of the things that people do in INFINii is we teach people how to sell on eBay, Amazon, Bonanza, and many other different things through e-commerce. And we also go ahead and provide the tools for them to actually be able to do it. Okay, because unfortunately, one of the things you find online is everybody apparently is an expert, and everybody apparently knows how to do this stuff. Even people who just started, or even people who just kind of lucked out, everybody's very eager to paint themselves an expert, and everybody wants you to buy something from them. Okay, so it's very important for me to have real statistics to show what's happening. So one of the things that we did is we actually tracked the sales of members who are selling on eBay, and they're using a tool within the system. So in the month of January, there were 539,000 listings created. Okay, so over 500,000 listings created, and it produced just under $3 million in sales for our members. Okay, so this is not the money that I got as the CEO or the owner or anything like that. This is the money being made by our actual users. So people like Jeff, for example, everybody else on this call. This is a very, very critical difference, because we are talking about money that people are earning without having to go and sell somebody on it. Okay, so I don't think people would mind, and Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would really like to take a moment and teach something very quickly that will hopefully help a lot of the people and also help them make better decisions, even if whether you join INFINii or not, regardless of that, it'll hopefully help you guys a lot. So I'm going to pull up my infamous Paint. I think everybody on this call already knows that I love using Paint to teach, because I really want to hammer home the simplicity of what's going on here, instead of show you guys some fancy presentation and all that stuff. So on my screen, hopefully you can see, and Jeff, can you confirm quick? You should be able to see this little kind of a flow chart that shows traffic and a sales location.
Yeah, okay. Yes, sir. You're live.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. So this is the basis of all business in the world. Okay, online, offline, whatever you want, whatever the industry is, whatever the niche is, whatever it is that you're doing, this is the basis of all of the business in the world today. You have something that you're going to sell. Either you own it, or it's somebody else who owns it. It's a service that you may provide. It's a service that maybe your company provides. Whatever it may be, you have a sales location, and your job is to drive traffic to it. Okay? This is why most people fail, because it's very, very difficult, because traffic is a limited resource. Okay, guys, there's only so many people in the world. And there's only so many people in the world who can afford what you're trying to sell and who actually are interested in what you're trying to sell. And it doesn't have to be something to teach them make money. It could be anything in the world. So if you wanted to sell a chair, okay, then you need to find people who are looking for a chair. You need to figure out what kind of chair they're looking for. You need to bring them to a page or to a site or to a store where they can look at the chair, like the chair, and decide to buy it, and then you have to make some profit margin on it. Okay? That's the basis of all the business in the world. Now, a lot of people put unnecessarily fancy spin on it. They'll talk about CPA, they'll talk about PPC campaigns, they'll talk about SEO, they'll talk about e-commerce in kind of confusing terms. Because when they can confuse you, then they can ask you for a bunch of money to show you how it actually works. Okay, so for us, that's not the case. We're not looking to charge people thousands of dollars or anything like that. It's just about providing clarity on what actually happens. So you have a sales location. The first question is, how do you set up a sales location? Okay, now there are many different ways to do it. And for the past almost 10 years coming up now, I have had all sorts of sales locations in the world. I've had websites that I've set up. I've set up pages on other websites. I've set up Web 2.0 pages. We have blogs and all sorts of stuff. And the problem with most of those stores or those locations is they're not easily replicable. Not everybody has the technical skills to set it up. So what we're going to try and do is try and make sure that we have a sales location that we don't have any overhead for, that we don't spend too much time trying to maintain, that we don't spend too much money trying to build. Okay, so let's talk about where is most of the traffic in the world. You have Google, Facebook, Amazon, eBay. Here are pretty much, between these four, we pretty much are covering about 3 billion people worth of traffic. Okay, that's pretty insane when you think about it. This, between all four of them, you're looking at about 3 billion worth, 3 billion people eyes on these websites in the entire world. Now, only a small fraction of those are actually going to be interested in things that you're going to provide. Okay, our job is to get these companies, these websites to do all the work for us. That's what we want to do. We want to leverage these companies because they've already done the hard work of driving traffic to themselves. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out, let's say with eBay. Almost everybody on this call right now, on this Hangout, has gone through eBay. I'll show you a few other things as well. But let's take the example of eBay. So you go to eBay, now you need something to sell. Okay, and it's extremely easy to figure out what to sell. Pretty much anything. You can go to ebay.com and you can see what people around the world are actually selling and buying in one go. There's all sorts of stuff on sale over here. And I'm going to do this in a very, very simple way. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm going to do a fun thing. I'm going to type in monkey. And the reason why I always start with the monkey is when I was growing up, we had issues with monkeys attacking our school all the time. Okay, I grew up in India, if you couldn't guess. So it's a fun story for some time later. But here is an example right here. Here is Ollie the monkey. I'm going to go to eBay and put that in. And here we can see that people are selling it for a higher price, right? 11 bucks. Here it's for $8.96, and you have 11, 16, 17, 7, 17.98, and you can see 9 of them have been sold at this price. So there's clearly a profit margin there. So what we are going to try and do is go to eBay, leverage eBay. We will post the monkey on eBay or any product that we really want. So we go ahead and put the monkey on eBay. And we're going to let them drive all the traffic. And this is the beauty of it. You let them handle the traffic for you. So now eBay is going to drive the traffic to your fun Ollie the monkey. Amazon is going to fulfill the order for you, which means all of your hard work of setting up a sales location, driving the traffic to that location, and closing the sale are all actually being done by these massive corporations instead of you having to deal with it. And you can just collect your profit margin on there. You bought the monkey for 9 bucks. You sold the monkey for 15 bucks, let's say. After all the fees are said and done, you made about $3.50 in profit. That's the general basis of how this business is run. Now, it sounds extremely simple, almost to the point that you would go, that doesn't even make sense. How could that make a lot of money for people? And here is what it's done. Over the past 2.5 years, it's generated about $2.5 billion for our members. Okay, that's billion with a B. Hopefully it's visible. I've bolded it. And that's just hundreds of thousands of people selling hundreds of thousands of monkeys and so on and so forth on eBay, and selling things on Amazon, and selling things on the Google Shopping Network using Bonanza and so on. And that's all that they're doing. Note that I haven't talked about recruiting whatsoever. Note that I haven't talked about trying to tell your friends and family about it and so on. There is a component of that. I'll explain why that component even exists. So this is basically the beauty of the system that we call INFINii. Okay. Now with INFINii, e-commerce is just one of our sections that we work in. Okay. With INFINii, we also will be diverting into digital products, and then into freelancing, and then into the gaming industry, and many, many, many different facets of it that are already in the work. But e-commerce is the easiest thing for the average person to begin with, because all of the hard work is being done by these big companies. They are doing all the work on your behalf. So you can drive traffic using their networks. You can follow up with your customers using their networks. You can fulfill orders and provide something to sell using their networks. And that's the whole idea behind how this whole system works. Now, when I first came up with the concept of building something like this, of building a platform where people can use things like e-commerce, they can use things like digital sales to develop an income for themselves, it was kind of a novel thing. It was kind of unique, and it was kind of untested. It was kind of almost, a nervous thing to try out to see if that would even be taken up by the market. And it was extremely successful. And really, I'm going to move on very quickly because I want the people on this call to share their stories, because they are really the epitome of what the average person can do if they actually apply what's in here. Okay, so we started out with e-commerce. We did $2.5 billion in sales there. with INFINii, we're branching into many other different things as well. I just showed you one little number where, $3 million generated from just one little piece of INFINii system, and hopefully Jeff will show you guys a lot more of that. But the core thing behind all of this that you guys have to understand is you still need to build leverage in some way. Okay, so over here we're leveraging Google, Facebook, and so on, but you can also build leverage by developing your own sales team. So that's one of the things that Jeff has done extremely well. So after Jeff had success doing the e-commerce thing himself, he goes ahead and starts sharing that concept with many people who are also struggling in other MLMs, struggling in. I mean, if I ask this question right now, who here on this call has ever been exposed to an MLM? Probably 99% of people will say yes. And if I said, how many of you had a negative experience from that? Probably 90% of you will say yes. The 90% had a negative experience with it. And that's one of the big reasons why this is such a salvation almost for many people who are stuck in that position. So Jeff went to a lot of his contacts and said, hey, instead of being stuck in a system that has 90%, 95% failure rates, why don't we do this? Let's focus on building an e-commerce business. And due to that, Jeff was able to develop a pretty large team of people who work with him now. Okay, so for example, Jeff has a team, and this is the other extreme wonderful thing about INFINii. So Jeff's team now goes ahead and starts selling on eBay, starts selling on Amazon, and so on and so forth. And every time they sell on eBay and Amazon and Google Shopping Network and so on using INFINii, every single time, Jeff also earns a little bit of that through that whole process. And this is why this is such a beautiful system. In a typical company or a typical MLM or whatever you want to call it, the way it works is that your sponsor or the person who brings the downline in makes money when the downline loses money. And I'm sorry to put it in those terms, but that's the reality. The downline collectively is putting a bunch of money in. Okay, let's draw it out really quickly, and then I will let everybody else show you what has happened with them. Okay, so here is how it goes. We'll call it affiliate or distributor or partner, whatever you want to call it. And then you have the company, and then you have the customer. Okay, the customer is usually what we call the downline, right, or the recruit of the distributor. Okay, we call it recruit here as well. And here's basically what's happening. The affiliate brings the customer to the company. The customer pays some money to the company. Okay, let's say $100 to the company. And the distributor receives this money. He receives, let's say, $40 out of the 100. Okay, and the entire business model is for the distributor to keep doing this over and over and over and over again. Okay, note that the only way the distributor makes money is when the customer is giving money to the company. Okay, but where is the customer getting the money from? Where is the recruit generating any money from? From nowhere, right? The customer is getting his shakes or getting his coffee or getting whatever, but he's never actually generating an income. The only way he generates an income is if now he becomes then affiliate or a distributor, and then he goes out and starts recruiting people. And you notice that every single time this happens, 60% of the money is lost. It's lost in the sense that it's going to the company. It's not a bad thing. It's a good business for the company. But the only way the customer can ever succeed is if he becomes a distributor and starts recruiting more people than himself, right? He brings in more people, and he will need, in this scenario, at least 3 people before he will be profitable, right? So distributor is making $40. He brings in 3 customers. He now makes 120. So end of the day, no matter what, the only way the distributor wins is when his customer is paying money to the company, and the customer has no recourse. He cannot make money himself. And then you have this massive dropout rate. The customers start dropping out, and then the affiliate realizes, it's done. He can't make money from this. Here is why this whole concept is so different, and why Jeff is quite honestly very happy and cheery and has a sense of pride about what he has done so far. This is why, because now in INFINii, the customer instead goes out and starts generating an income from all of these other sources. So he has eBay, he has Amazon, he has Google, and others who are now basically generating an income for the customer. The customer will only stay in, which means Jeff's team only stays in when they are making more money than they are spending within INFINii, which is a really, really novel concept. And therefore, Jeff is only succeeding because his team is succeeding. It's a very, very different concept altogether. On top of that, every time his team makes sales on eBay and Amazon, Google, and so on successfully, Jeff actually earns a little bit of money from that. So now you see why Jeff has a very strong interest in making sure that everybody in his team is being successful. Now, Jeff is a very unique example. He's a very moral guy. He's somebody who really cares for people. That's kind of the value of our company as a whole. We really care for people and we want to help them. But there are many people who don't. Okay, there are many people for whom money is more important. And sometimes good people are in a situation where money is more important. They might have medical situations where money is more important than being nice. Even in those scenarios, this system incentivizes even a bad distributor to make sure that their team succeeds. So this really changes the dynamic and the culture of what usually happens in MLMs or usually happens in online recruitment chains and things like that. A totally different culture develops out of this. It's a culture of working together as a community, making sure everybody is being successful. And for us, it works out as a company to really help develop that culture more. That's why I like getting on calls with somebody like Jeff and their team. So the whole idea behind what INFINii is an idea of building leverage. It's the idea of leveraging these massive companies. It's the idea of leveraging our network because we have developed the tools, we have developed the training, we have a very strong team of trainers, we have a very strong team of organizers, we have a very strong team of developers where we have built up relationships with eBay and Amazon and so on. So you can use our system, you can have a listing up in 30 seconds or so, and each listing right now on average produces about $5.50 in sales, which is really awesome. And I let Jeff discuss some of that and let somebody else go into more details of it. But the idea behind all of this is making sure that the average person, without massive upfront costs, without spending too much time, is able to be profitable. Okay, so that's the last piece of this, and then I'm passing this on. This is what you guys want to do, and regardless of what you do after tonight, regardless of if you are really impressed and you're like, I want to do something like this, or if you say, right now it's not the time for me, or I want to do something else, whatever it is, the choice is yours. Okay, but here is the bottom line behind what you want to choose when you're looking for a business. Any business, we're not talking about network marketing, MLMs, or online stuff. Any business needs to have three very simple things going for it. It needs to have low upfront cost, it has to have quick profitability, and it needs to be scalable. You see, by this standard, one of the worst businesses in the world, and this bears out, one of the worst businesses in the world is a restaurant. Here's why. It has high upfront costs. It takes a while to break even. In fact, most experts say it takes about a year to break even with a restaurant, and it's not very easily scalable. If you succeed and you have a really good restaurant and people really like it, you'll have to grow and you'll have to get more space, you'll have to hire more employees. It's not very easily scalable. This is the basis on which INFINii was developed. It's extremely low of upfront costs. It's very, very quick on profitability, and I hope everybody will share on here how quickly they were profitable. Okay, and guys, we're just sharing the honest truth about numbers with just doing e-commerce. We're not even talking about anything to with recruitment. And it's extremely scalable because most of the hard work is being done by these big companies and the traffic is being driven by these big companies. You don't have to worry about the scalability of things. So this is the kind of business model that you want to work with. Make sure that these are the things that it always has to tie in with, that these three things must be true, especially if you're somebody who's just starting out, especially if you're somebody who's struggling right now. You have to make sure that these things fit for you. So I'm very, very thankful to be on a call like this. I'm going to actually pass this on to Jeff. Jeff, hopefully you can explain a little bit more in more real terms on what you have seen, what's happened with you. I could go into countless stories of what I see every day and how much success people are having and how much it's changing people's lives in a very genuine way. And I could give you my own story, but I would much rather have Jeff go through it and have everybody else on this call, Brittany and Robin and so on, talk about what they have seen. So take it away, Jeff.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks a lot for being on. That was outstanding information that we're going to be able to use, and hopefully the people that are watching this on the other side, hopefully they're sort of grasping what they have their hands on. But if not, hey, we're going to get some more people on here, and they're going to tell their personal stories about some of the things that they have accomplished with INFINii. And Hitesh, if you hang around, I hope so, because they're really showing you some love out there on the chat right now, man.
Oh, I'm here. I'm going to be here, and if you guys have any questions or anything specific that I can answer, I'm very happy to answer that as well.
Okay, man. Thank you, and we appreciate all of your kind words also. Hey, now who I want to introduce is a gentleman that's he's like an integral part of our top team marketing group. One of the first people to answer questions, help people, reach out to people. He's some type of guru when it comes to creating like software and stuff like that. But just an all-around nice guy. He likes hockey. He lives in British Columbia, he's not from America, so we have to kind of maybe talk a little. He may have difficulty understanding what I'm saying because I'm so far down south. But other than that, hey, he's a cool guy. Please give everyone, please give a warm welcome to Brett Martell. Brett, tell us your story, man. Knock it out, buddy.
Well, thank you very much for that intro, Jeff. Yeah, I am from Canada. I'm born and raised up here above the border from you guys. Listen, I've got a typical story like a lot of people do. Canada, States, no matter where you were talking about, it is human nature to kind of live beyond our means, and people are struggling just to be able to try and get by. Well, I was no different from me. I was a few years back, a gentleman I was coaching hockey with. He told me his friend had been getting into drop shipping, and so I wanted more information. Well, I went to Google. I looked for anything I could find, and I found this company, DSD. Well, I definitely checked this out, and the best thing that could have ever happened to me was when I ran into my sponsor, Sean, who happens to be connected with TopTeam, and I got to tell you, this has made all the difference in the world for me and my family. We've been able to learn the system, learn how this business works, and understand this truly is your business. In order for success, for it to take off and really be able to go somewhere with, it's all dependent on you putting the effort in. It's perseverance. It's you putting the effort in to make yourself better. It does take time. It's by no means a magic wand or magic beans that you're just going to sprinkle around and it's going to happen. But it's not that much more difficult. Full instructions are there. Just a lot of case of listen, follow the steps, copy, paste, and just sit back and wait. But be persistent. Be on top of it. I'm definitely not one of the biggest hitters, but as Jeff says, I'm just who I am. I'm always trying to be helpful. I'm always trying to answer the questions. I'm trying to help people, and I've definitely been able to grow my own little team, we'll say, but I get value in being able to show support and help people out, and if they can get their questions answered, I really do take something away from that for me personally. Like I said, I've never really had the big numbers, but listen, last month, off of one item that I was listing and I had selling, I paid my mortgage. It was a done deal. It does happen, and this system is absolutely beautiful because it doesn't take hours upon days that you have to put into it. Yes, the more time you put in, the better results you're going to get, the more things you're going to have up, and the more opportunities that you have. There are so many buyers out there on eBay right now. There's someone looking for what you've got listed. And it's just a case of following the steps to make sure that you can grab their attention and make sure that you can support them and get them their item. That's really what it's all about.
Hey, Brett, did I hear you say that you paid your mortgage with one item that was selling on your eBay account last month?
Virtually one item.
Wow.
Yes, it was incredible. It was quite a run.
Well, one last question. Will you tell us what your results were that you posted last week? You were showing us some of the things. I think you had a run there of about in 72 hours or something like that. Something happened. Would you mind sharing it with us?
Yeah, I can definitely. And that was actually the item. It was not 72 hours. It was only 55 hours. In 55 hours, I had 123 sales of one item that I was probably making $8 to $10 off of each time. So it was just hand over fist. I was having a tough time keeping up with the orders.
So did you have to go somewhere like to Walmart and buy that item and ship it out to someone, go into your granddad's garage and find that item to ship to your customer?
No, honestly, I've never even touched this. Actually, I've had one where somebody It wasn't quite right for them, so I had one return, but I'm actually having it sent to me, so I'm going to be able to touch this thing for the first time. I literally had someone had posted this on Facebook, a friend of mine, not related to drop shipping, but someone had posted this on Facebook, and I had just seen so much about this sort of thing in the news, and it was very topical timing. I decided, you know what? Let me throw that Amazon link that they put online. Let me try listing that, and it took off the next day.
Super, man. Man, that's fantastic. Brett, thank you for coming out and having the confidence to tell us your story and give us some encouragement as to what people can do with this business if they take action. We really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, and listen, I'm so happy that I was able to be here and follow behind someone as big as Hitesh and just be able to have a little chat with you. But anyone who's listening, listen, this is the real deal. It's not just smoke and mirrors, and it's not me kind of playing stories to you. This really has made a big difference. So connect with whoever brought you here and get going.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Brett. We really appreciate it. Hey, you still there? Okay. Hey, the next person I'm going to bring up, and she has to, let's see. Robin, are the grandkids put up yet? You okay? You good?
Yep,
Ready?
got him in bed, got him in bed.
Okay, perfect. Well, listen, guys, here's another person that's a part of TopTeam. She's been one of those people that's been also integral in helping and supporting people. Most people, if they get introduced to the group, she's the first person that's going to say hello to them. She's also going to be one of the first admin to get them added to our training portal to learn a little additional stuff that we have for our team exclusively to help them to build their business on the e-commerce and the affiliate side. Miss Robin Wright, she's a fantastic lady, and she's also featured on our video. If you click there, the button in the middle, if you're on the Hangout site, she's one of our movie stars on there. So, Robin Wright, will you please come on out and knock it out and tell us your story? Thanks.
Hey, Jeff, thanks a lot. Is this thing going to switch to me? I don't know how that works. I just want to say hi to everybody first off. I try to venture in and say howdy in the groups as we go. I'm in the middle of Texas, middle of nowhere, Texas, to be quite honest. I got started with this a couple of years ago because well, come Friday, I'll be 54 years old. I stay at home. I'm raising my special needs grandson. He has lots of doctor appointments and things like that. My husband's a disabled vet. He works at the penitentiary to make sure we still have, you know, what we have. And we bought a house a while back, bless the recession. We found someone who was willing to sell it, and they carried it. Well, I'm also not one of the big dollar people. I was kind of hit and miss when we first started this. I had been doing affiliate marketing, and to be quite honest, that was kind of the program Hitesh was talking about. It was you only make money if you sign people up, and they sign people up, and then when they leave, you got to sign up more people. And I ran into a few things. First of all, 24/7 is just not my time schedule. I have a mom 2 doors down and appointments and everything else. And then when you're a female at home, you feel like you have to contribute, you have to do something, or you're not useful. And that didn't feel very useful because I wasn't going to be on the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to convince someone to spend their $1 to get into a program. So I ran across DSD, and I was like, okay, cool, that makes perfect sense. It's just logical. You look at it and you go, okay, so drop shipping from one source to another, and I don't ever have to touch it. I don't have to pack it through my house. I don't have to do any of those things. That's awesome. And so I went ahead and I got started doing that. And to be quite honest, I was sort of hit and miss for a while. And you'll hear people say, I think in a webinar the other day, Hitesh mentioned that, you know, it's what do you need? And in our case, I think what was said was that, you know, what can $500 do for you? You know, what kind of change can that make to your life? Well, in our life, what it did is it fixed up some bills. It raised our credit score. We paid off our house. We put a new roof on. We put new water lines in. I have a bathroom that doesn't fall through the floor. You have no idea what it's like to run through the house going, look, I can turn on 3 faucets all at one time. And and a few other, my kitchen is waiting to be remodeled. All the stuff's already in the garage. I just have to pay labor. And I could have never done that anywhere else that I've tried. And, you know, I did the Tupperware and Avon and all those kind of wonderful things. It doesn't take a lot. And then once you get going, you kind of get addicted to it. It's like, wow, this is cool. You know, I put in a little more time. I put in a little more money. Not money so much as just I can change up what I'm listing. I can change the profit margin. I decide what I'm making. And if I have to run to an appointment, that's awesome. I can do that. And then in the team, TopTeam is, it rocks. We have people, just you can look at the list down there on the screen, and anybody in the team is willing to help 24/7 worldwide. You have access to support. You have people that will answer your questions. Up in the training portal, we have additional kind of bonus special stuff. That's really awesome. And all the training, everything, step by step, all the information, all the tools is all there. You just can't beat it. I don't know. My house isn't going to fall down, and it didn't need, you know, to go find gold in the backyard. I just found it online, you know, and now with INFINii, I've got everything. There's eBay, Amazon, Bonanza, the works. It's like all in one place, and I don't think we can beat it. So I guess that's my story, and I don't know where else to go with it other than up. So back to you.
Okay, Robin, that was fantastic. But I do have another question I have to ask you. I think
Sure.
you touched on it a little, but will you please tell everyone what you posted a few days ago when we had our team testimonials being posted in the group? You posted a picture of something that we would love to hear you talk about, please.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned it kind of in passing because I didn't want it if I get started. Like I said, we managed, you know, with that little bit that I was making part-time doing this, we managed to pay off our house. And what I posted the other day was a picture of the check that I handed to the owners of the property. We have a house with 3 lots and a 2-car garage and a shop, and you know, we paid that off in at halftime. You know, we were halfway through our loan and paid off the other half of it, and I still was able to go. We put a 30-year roof on the house. We completely replaced all the water lines. We put in a brand new bathtub and tile walls. All of the, I've got a brand new countertop, fixture, sink, everything for my kitchen. It's all sitting in my garage ready to go. I was able to buy all of that. We have the new flooring for the bathroom in the garage. It's going in. I've got a new vent for my kitchen. I mean, we have everything except the manpower to put it in at this point, and we only did that because of e-commerce and selling online.
Absolutely fantastic. That's wow. All I can say is wow.
That's pretty much what I keep saying.
Robin, thank you so much for your testimony, and just appreciate the raw, just I guess you could say, I mean, honesty. That's what I love so much because, you know, me and my wife got a chance yesterday. We jumped in one of my trucks and took off and just act like we were like 15, 16-year-olds chilling, just went to a music studio, a place where we were going to record a song and stuff like that, just doing crazy stuff and not even thinking about tomorrow. Oh, man, you know, later on Sunday afternoon, you say, oh, man, I got to go to work tomorrow. And it sort of just takes away from the rest of your afternoon. We didn't have to have that, and it's because of this business and being able to have great CEOs that are willing to come out and talk with us common people, and having you guys as teammates and stuff like that. And I don't want to get too mushy or anything, but I just wanted to mention that it's just a great feeling to have, to be able to, you know, if your tire blows out, you can go and get a new tire and not have to go out and take a loan out. Or it's crazy. It really is. You know, and we appreciate you, Robin. Thanks a lot.
I agree. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay. And next we have another one of our rock stars, and what we're going to do, we're going to introduce him, and he has two people, generally he has one, at least one each week, that he considers his member of the week. These are people that are doing some amazing, awesome things with their INFINii business, and he's going to introduce them, but I want to introduce him first because he is, man, just an amazing guy. You're going to love him when you hear him talk. He's always pumped up, motivated, and ready to go. He keeps me inspired, keeps me on my toes. He slaps me around every now and then because he lifts weights and he's getting big. So, but he's just a good friend of mine, and he's also one of my personally sponsored gentlemen, Mr. Christopher McCoy. You there, buddy?
Yes, I am, Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Take us out, man. Knock it out of the park.
All right, man. Real deal, man. Appreciate the intro, man. Really loved it, man. But first and foremost, I want to give an honor where honors due. Mr. Hitesh, thank you for coming out and pretty much, laying some, some knowledge out there for everyone who's watching this hangout. I mean, it just makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. And before I pretty much get into what I do, and I'll pretty much say that for later, but I really want to edify these two individuals right here. First, I want to start out with ladies first. I want to introduce one of the members of my team. Her name is Brittany Perez, out of Florida, and this woman is doing very remarkable things. Especially when you hear her story about the things that she tried in this industry, and when she came into our business and our subsidiary of DSD, that she just started rocking. And actually, believe it or not, she probably didn't know this, she was actually, gained more momentum than I did when I first joined this company. But right now, she's rocking it out the park. So without further ado, Brittany, are you on?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I just want you to just give a few minutes of your time and just share your testimony as far as what has this company done for you, the training and the success that you've had compared to the things that you've done in this online niche, if you will.
Yeah, no problem. Well, first of all, before I got into this company, actually, I had been introduced to DSD. When I started with DSD, pretty much what drew me to it was just how simple it was, really. Like, it's pretty much anybody can do it. Like, there's no all this crazy training. You don't have to go through all these videos like you do with like most of these companies. I actually went through some companies like MLMs, and that was horrible. Like, it was absolutely horrible. I had to, just trying to talk to people, it's not for me. So whenever Chris introduced me to DSD, it just, made more sense. I think within my first, 3 days or a week, I had profited about $150 just from selling a couple items, and I just kind of kept flipping my money. And with INFINii, it's pretty awesome, especially with this new ALC tool. I love it. Like, I don't have to sit there and copy and paste for 20 minutes. It's just really the simplicity of it that drew me. I mean, honestly, I like to make money, but I'm also very lazy. I can't, I'll admit it, I'm pretty lazy. So, I mean, that's what I love about it. It's like anybody could do this. Like, you don't have to be educated or, like they were saying in the beginning, you don't have to have any crazy skills or anything like that. You just have to find a product and see what's selling. That's it. And everybody's always buying, and excuse me. I mean, nowadays I feel like online is really the new it's pretty much the future because, you know, nobody really wants to go to the stores to buy certain products anymore. Online is just more simple. And I mean, I think within the first few days of me joining INFINii, in fact, too, I mean, I profited about almost $200. Excuse me. You know, just from selling a few items. And right now I still do work part-time, but, you know, it's nice even to be at work and get those notifications that an item is sold and I've made another profit. So it's very nice. It's something that of a stepping stone that it's not that hard to build from. It's nothing complex. It's not, you know, rocket science. It's, you know, which is what I love about it. And I mean, so far, it's just kind of helped to motivate me to stay consistent with what I'm trying to do. Whereas, you know, in other companies, I just kind of gave up. It became too much, you know, with having to hold, you know, parties or something, and, you know, you tell people about it, your family, and they don't really want to listen. With this, I don't have to go around trying to tell people anything. Like, really, I just let my results speak for themselves and other people's results. And, you know, and Chris has pretty much been there to guide me through any questions I've had. He's been a really good mentor throughout the whole year. I mean, there's really nothing else I could say other than, you know, anyone could do this. Anybody could join this company, and there's no way you can't profit from this company. There's no way you cannot find some type of result in this company, and that's pretty much what I love about it. So I don't know if that speaks for itself, and, you know, thanks for having me on.
No problem, no problem. And, you know, that's an awesome testimony. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there, you're listening, you know, and it definitely makes sense to you, you know, just go ahead and click that yellow button that's right in front of you. Okay, and also get with the person who invited you to this. And just like Brittany said, you know, anybody can do this. You don't have to be so computer savvy. You know, the modules, the training modules that Hitesh and his staff has put together is so streamlined that it makes simple easy. If that makes any sense, all right? You know, so, and that's one of the things that why I wanted to really introduce this to your to my network, because, you know, I've been in the industry and I've been in a couple of these companies out here, and I've had some moderate success. And the reason I say I had moderate success because, you know, I always hit a certain threshold that either politics came into the play and the company was gone one day, or the company's not being fair to the reps, or not being transparent, or whatever the case may be. And that's what really drove me into what this company has, because just like Brittany said, and I brought two people in here for a reason. You know, I want Brittany to come in and she explained more so on the e-commerce side, and this next individual I'm going to bring up is going to be more so on how he's building his team on that side. Because, ladies and gentlemen, no, you do not have to build a team. These people on the panel and the people that you've seen in front of you and the documentation that's out there, these people are making almost 4, 5, 6 figures, almost as much as the leaders, quote unquote, that's out there in this industry. Okay, and with these people, they either have no team at all or just a little team. All right, so it's whatever floats your boat or find your lost remote, you can do it with us here in INFINii. All right, so with that being said, this next individual I want to introduce, man, this guy is definitely a rock star. He's really blowing it up out there in the Baltimore area. Okay, and you know, his sponsor, who is VK Valentine, shout out to you, girl. You know, I really grown to really love, you know, this guy and these people, because, you know, there's one thing I always teach my team is that follow 3 core values of mine. Be coachable, okay? Be willing, open, and willing to learn. Take massive action, okay? Just don't say I done it and just leave it, whatnot. When I say massive action, you got to put some elbow, you got to put some elbow in there. You got to put some muscle into it, okay? And first, and the last, but definitely not least, which is the most important of all the core values, stay in communication, okay? And, you know, and this guy right here, I have plenty of other people on my team who's actually doing this, but I really want to, you know, really edify these two, Brittany and Rashard, because they have actually done that. They were actually coachable. They took massive action, and they stayed in communication. And that's what you need to do to the person that's inviting you, okay? If it's something that you not understand, call them, okay? Call them, text them, Facebook messaging them, whatever the case it is, and they will help you. So without further ado, I'd like to bring my man here, Rashard Harvey out of B More. Harv, man, you rocking it out over there, man. I mean, man, it's like a coach that's really smiling because his player has actually executed a play to the finest, okay, to the T. All right, so I want you to pretty much go ahead, get out here and tell your testimony, not only for your success on the e-commerce side, but also how you're building a massive team internationally. Go ahead, take it away, brother.
Hey, Chris, thanks for that great introduction. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, awesome, awesome. Well, first and foremost, we'll say thanks, man. I say it every single day to you that I am really blessed and honored to be on this call tonight with the CEO, Hitesh, also with Jeff, and with yourself. I mean, I remember that day when I reached out to you and said, look, hey, Chris, I need something different because what I got going on right now isn't working. I remember the first video for INFINii was about an hour and a half long. From the very first minute of hearing other folks' testimony, I was hooked from the moment I heard about it. And just to be a part of something like this, I mean, the system is great. The communication is great. Corporate is doing their thing. You know, to be learning from folks that, you know, not only are just talking about success, but actually are doing exactly what they're teaching you. You just can't buy that. And, you know, what this company offers for the value, I really do think it's a steal. It really is truly, truly a steal. When I first got involved with INFINii, within my first week, I made my first sale. And I guess it's kind of like when you have a child. You know, you have your first child, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, it's something completely new. You know, when I made my first sale, I didn't know how to act. I was like, wow, I really just made a sale online. It's something I've dreamed about. I've had friends that sold Jordans and flipped Jordans back in high school, but I never understood how to get into eBay. I made it more complicated than what it was. But when we have the training, that breaks down step by step by step of how to do this. I'm telling you right now, if you can teach a monkey how to sell stuff on eBay, they would excel at doing this. That's how very simple this is. As Brittany said, guys, this is very, very easy. This isn't rocket science. You're not trying to fly to the moon and back. I'm telling you, you're just driving down the street. Everything, if you can watch a video, you can read a PDF, you can excel with INFINii. As I always like to tell people, INFINii, we don't lie. You know, what you see is literally what you get. You know, there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no, you know, stories that are, you know, exaggerated. Everything is what you see is exactly what you get. And even by using this system, as Chris said, I've been able to expand to a team in Norway. There's a guy I connected with about a year ago. We're both, at the time, we were involved in 2 different businesses. He's like, man, I would love to work with you. And I finally shared this with him. He's like, I do this all the time, but I've been doing it wrong. And just by following that system, you know, he's been able to expand his team. And within his first week, he was able to bring in 50 people in his first week of INFINii. That completely blew my mind away. And I even have another guy in Slovenia as well who will be joining very, very soon. So, I mean, guys, it just works. It really just works. It's like, you know, they say that opportunity sometimes knocks softly on the door. So you have to know when to listen. And a lot of folks, they overthink, they overanalyze. Oh, is that really for me? Just do it. You know, as Steve Harvey said, you just got to jump off the cliff. Don't worry about is the parachute going to work. Just jump. You jump, you figure everything else on the way. But I tell you, if you never jump, you will never know the feeling of being successful. You will never know the feeling of getting your first sale on eBay, your first sale of Bonanza, or whatever source you're utilizing. You will never know the feeling of following a system and going international. You will never know what it feels like. Just to be able to walk into a store while everybody else is walking past items, you're able to walk up to something and get a profit for it. Something very simple, like actually a team member of mine was selling unicorn poop, of all things. You know, and it really turned out to be a really great profit. She was making $50. And she only spent like $3 on it. I mean, so every single day people are walking past gold mines. And really through INFINii, you know, the thing I respect the most about Hitesh, you know, he's very, very straightforward. I like him because he's very detailed. He reminds me of myself. And, you know, he explains and he teaches you how to run a business. I've been doing MLM for 2 years. I have learned more with INFINii for the past 2 months than I've done in the last 2 years of doing MLM. You know, running around and chasing people. You're talking to people that aren't looking. But what I love about INFINii, when I post a status about a sale, I am getting people that are looking for something different. I have the right bait, I'm getting the right fish. I'm not sitting out there all day with the wrong bait, hoping that maybe I'll get somebody that's interested. You know, run around and talking to folks that really aren't looking. They're happy with their jobs. You know, we need bus drivers, we need folks working for the postal service. There's nothing wrong with working a job. And that's what I learned through INFINii. It's okay to work. Because honestly, I'm a construction worker and I love what I do. But at the same time, I know on my phone, I can list an item, I can go check an item in my spare time and make a sale. And that's the beauty of this. You know, you're not, you know, as I say, drinking the Kool-Aid where you're taught that if you work a job, there's something wrong with that. And I'm just, what I mean talking so much, guys, I'm just excited. I'm just blessed. I mean, INFINii to me, I'm just going to end with one more note. INFINii to me is like going from a Honda Accord to a Lamborghini. You skip the BMW, you skip the Mercedes-Benz, you went straight to a Lambo or a McLaren or something like that, because, guys, it truly just works. If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And I'll tell you, with INFINii, like I said before, we really just don't lie, because the system is truly phenomenal. That's my time. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Jeff. And thanks again, Hitesh, for getting on this call tonight.
Oh man, that's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I mean, if it makes sense, click that yellow button. I mean, this is not something that's scripted. Okay, these are real results with real people. Okay, I mean, some people it just gets old that you gotta go chase people. You gotta chase people to hey, try this this drink. Okay, you gotta put them in a headlock, figure four, Ric Flair. Woo! You gotta make them drink something in order for them to try it out and see if they like it or anything like that, ladies and gentlemen. No more chasing people. All right, what other company? All right, what other company can teach you how to bring the customers to you? Did anybody hear what I said right there? What other company is going to teach you how to bring the customers to you? All right, I usually give these two analogies. All right, sometimes being an eagle, see, they gotta go find their food. They soar thousands of miles up in the sky and they swoop down to catch their fish. Okay, I don't know how they do that. They got some good eyes. All right, I don't care. But guess what? There's another animal that just sits there and let the food come to them. What are they? They're spiders. Okay, and so if you follow the blueprint, follow the system, follow the training that the INFINii has laid out for you, it will happen. Okay, it would happen. I have reps who's making more money than they probably ever did in their whole entire online marketing career with this company. And that's, as a leader, that's what I love to see. It's not always about me. Okay, I see people out there, especially leaders, they're going from this company to that company, and they say, oh, my team needs to eat, I need to feed my team and stuff like that. But they're leaving a company to go to another company that does the same kind of stuff as the company they love. Where they do that at? Okay, but when you come into the business, and Hitesh mentioned this earlier, when you come into a business, when you got 80, 85, 90% success rate, I'm not talking about the old cliche 97%. I mean, as a leader, sometimes it gets lonely at the top. All right, it gets lonely at the top. But with here, I have a smile on my face because I see people who never had a big break in this industry rocking it out, rocking it. Okay, no more attrition issues, no more duplicated issues with people duplicating and stuff like that. Come on, guys, the leaders out there, and I'm talking to you leaders out there, you know how it feels, okay? You know how it feels a certain way if a person leads your organization, all right? For those who are new, you feel a certain way if you can't get your 3 and it's free, all right? You don't have to worry about that with INFINii, because again, we teach you how to get the customers coming to you. All right, I don't need any multiple streams of income, because guess what? I'm making money off of eBay. I'm making money off of Amazon. I'm making off of Bonanza. I'm making money off the rewards plan is crazy. Okay, all these things. If you look at the INFINii logo itself, okay, it represents INFINii. Everything is within. It's integrated like a huge ecosystem, and that's what INFINii has done for myself and my team. Stress-free, relaxed, like my girl Brittany said, lazy money. Okay, don't get me wrong. Yes, you gotta put in a little effort. All right, just a little bit of effort. Just a little bit of effort will yield you huge rewards. With that being said, thank you, Brittany, for coming on. Thank you, Rashard, for coming on. Thanks the rest of the panelists. Thank you, Hitesh. Jeff, back up to you, buddy.
All right. Wow. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Brittany. Thanks, Rashard. Man, Brett, Robin, and Hitesh. I'm gonna click it back over to you, and I'm gonna ask you one question. How you like those apples, buddy?
I really like those apples. Well, let me just say this very, very quickly. Building a big business, especially when you're kind of a pioneer in something like this, there are a lot of stresses and there are a lot of difficulties. But being on calls like this, listening to what is actually happening with people, and this is just an example. We get thousands and thousands of these kind of testimonials almost every day. It's insane. It's one of the things that keeps us going, and it's just so fulfilling. So if you are somebody who's been a leader, who has built teams, who's done MLM and done things like that, one of the things that I've always said, this is the kind of system you want to build, this is the kind of company you want to build, because it's the most fulfilling thing you're going to do, because you can actually speak to somebody in your downline knowing that they are having success, knowing that they are doing well. You don't have to have this trauma of knowing that you might be making money on somebody else's back and they're not succeeding. So that's a completely different dynamic. I am really glad you invited me to this call. I would love to be on more of these calls, just to listen to what's going on with the average member, just to see what else we can do to improve things. There are a lot of things that we have actually done in INFINii recently. If you notice, eBay, I've been speaking with eBay for the last about 20 days, making some changes in the way system works. They've just raised all of our limits. So our members are able to list a lot more, they're able to sell a lot more. It's working even faster than it before, and we're going to keep doing that. And this whole time, guys, here's what's going to happen. You're going to see people coming out who are going to pretend to be experts on this or that. They all want to try and get you to pay them a bunch of money to teach you or to talk with you or to just show you, whatever it may be. That might be your choice, but nobody is going to be able to give you the type of community we have, the type of people we have, the type of ecosystem that we have. That's what really stands by itself, an ecosystem with the tools and everything else in there that combines the idea of leverage and combines the idea of doing e-commerce and then all these other things with digital marketing and so on in one roof. It's a very, very unique thing. And at the end of the day, anybody who's listening has to make a choice themselves. You've heard all these people just not talk about it. They have not talked about, I recruited 100 people and they recruited 100 and now I make $1 million a year. Everybody has talked about, I made a little bit of money selling on eBay and Amazon, selling on Bonanza, using the system. I use that to pay my bills. I use that to pay off my mortgage in some cases, and multiple things like that. This is a completely different system. It's rooted in reality. We don't have to hold up a carrot trying to tell you, oh, you can make millions of dollars. Sure, you can. But the reality is the average person only needs maybe $800, $900 a month or more. That's all you actually need at the moment. And what we have tried to do is create a system which gets you there very, very quickly. In my experience, a very, very significant number of people hit that within their first 30 days with the company, because they don't have to go out and chase people. They don't have to be good marketers. They don't have to be salespeople. Makes a tremendous difference. So you have to stop and kind of look at the world around you and make a choice. There is a trend that is very strong, the trend of e-commerce, of digital products. There's a huge trend right now moving into home businesses and lack of working from home and things like that. You can either leverage those trends and work with them. You can leverage the major companies. You can leverage the community and the system that we have built, which is a multi-billion-dollar company at this point and headed towards hopefully multi-billions. You can leverage all of that and make a real change. And you don't have to spend a few $1,000s. We're not asking you to spend $6,000 in buying makeup so you can sell it to your neighbors. We're not telling you to go buy a bunch of weight loss supplements to sell it to your neighbors and do parties or something. It's just about providing that true essence of freedom and simplicity in running your own business that has nothing to do with some of the degrading things that you have to do when you're in typical MLMs. So, guys, I'm very, very happy and excited and really proud in a way to be on here to see the real impact of what I do day and night, the real impact that has had on other people's lives. That's a treat to watch and to listen to, and I'm very grateful. And anybody who is on this, guys, you're not going to find probably a better team than this. Jeff is an incredible, incredible leader. Everybody on this call, you've heard them. Everybody works together. I love helping them and love communicating with them. I get feedback directly from them many times. There are tremendous leaders in INFINii as a whole, but if you're listening to this right now and you're wondering, is this a good place for me to begin? Is this a good team for me to begin? Get a hold of whoever invited you on here. Ask them for their results. Ask them, hey, what do you suggest I do? What will be the pathway for me? And you will usually have a very clear-cut pathway defined for you, a clear roadmap. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go through this training. You're going to use these tools. You're going to build this many listings. And here's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for $500 in net profits over the next 30 days. Let's get you there. And then we will discuss anything about what to do with sharing with other people or talking to your uncles and aunts and so on. Don't do that until you have some results yourself. Can you never hear a CEO of another company say this? They're going to tell you really out of context. They're going to give you out of context Bible course. They're going to tell you something like, you have to have some faith. You got to take a leap of faith. Start sharing it with other people first. And even if you have not done anything, even if you have no success, fake it until you have some success. That's all baloney, guys. Don't do that. Okay, you're never going to hear, hopefully, any other company say that's unethical. That's wrong. You shouldn't behave like this. And we don't have to. None of the people on this Hangout right now have to pretend like that, because this actually works. This actually works so well that we are currently translating every piece of material that we have, all the trainings, all the tools, all the webinars. We're literally translating them into Russian, into German, into Indonesian, because we have so many people. We literally have tens of thousands of people in all these other countries who have been coming to us saying, we need this for our members. Can you help us provide this for our users, for people in our country? And that's what we've been doing. This is truly life-changing. For me, it's life-changing to see what it's doing for other people. For me, it's been a tremendous journey, and someday I will talk about it a bit more. But overall, it's the most fulfilling thing to do, to just get on these kind of webinars and hear what's going on and to see what's going on. And I just wish that everybody could experience this for themselves too. So, get a hold of any of the people who invited you on this, talk with them, get started with them, and hopefully you guys will join us and be just as successful, and hopefully you'll be on these Hangouts and sharing your story soon. So thank you very much, Jeff. And if you guys have any other questions for me, I love hard questions. If you have a hard question, throw it at me.
Wow. Well, man, I don't know if there's any other questions after all of that good stuff, man. We appreciate it. But if someone does have a question, anyone that's on the Hangout with us on the panel, you're welcome to ask any question that you have. Hitesh, we appreciate having the CEO of this company take out the time to come out here and share your thoughts and share your vision for INFINii and the kind words that you have for us and our team. We work hard to try to have a positive group of like-minded people, and it feels good for someone to notice that, and to have such an awesome group of people that sort of have the same mindset, I guess you could say. So we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate being on this call, and I really, really appreciate it. So I'm glad everybody was on here. Brett and Rashad and Robin, and obviously you, Jeff, and Brittany and Chris, and everybody. I'm glad that I was able to hear from everyone, and I'm here if you guys need me.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. One of the reasons why we have these Hangouts, guys, is because we want to get the word out. Me and my wife, a few years ago when we first started doing the drop shipping model, our first sale was like $2.50, $2.40, something like that. And we were jumping up and down because we were like, we didn't have to inventory anything. We didn't have to do anything except move a few images over from one place to another and some descriptions, and we made money. And it was emotional. And we could have just kept that to ourselves and continued to make money that way, but we wanted to share it with people because we have relatives just like everyone else. We have friends that are struggling. We have friends that are doing well, but we have people that we know that need to hear that there's a way for them to be able to take care of their family without going out having to chase people down through the aisles of Walmart. So one of my mentors has a saying. He says, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk with others. And one of the ways to walk with others is to share things. And so that's one of the reasons why we have these Hangouts. Guys, we appreciate everyone being on the Hangout tonight. Appreciate everyone that was on our panel that came out and told their story. We'll be here next Monday night with some more amazing people from TopTeam. And we want anyone who's listening right now, if you are interested in maybe possibly, just possibly, we're not saying guaranteeing you anything, but it's possible that you might be able to get results as good or the same or better than anyone that you've heard tonight. But you have to get started. You have to click that yellow button if you want to be involved, and we'll do everything in our power to support you. So with that being said, guys, we're going to close this thing out. Talk to you guys soon, and see everyone at the top. TopTeam, baby. Take care.
Take care.